Alright, to finish up your drawing, what you're going to do is rotate the part like I'm doing, and then what you're going to do is left click on sketch and left click on top of the base plate. Now I'm going to look at it like this on the back, and I'm going to rotate it sideways. Now what we're going to do is left click on our line and come down here to the bottom left corner. Now if you don't ever see the line click, you can always do the use tool, which is the square, and then you can left click on the line and you'll see the line will become solid and you can use it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my line, and the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out a line from the left corner down here going to the right and left click, and I'm going to make that 25 millimeters and hit enter. I'm then going to come down, straight down, and left click, and I'm going to type in 20 and hit enter. And then what I'm going to do is come all the way to the right, and I'm going to left click, and I'm going to make this line 75 and hit enter. And then come straight up, back to this line right here, and left click. Now I'm going to right click, escape the line. Now I've got this rectangle shape right here. And what I'm going to do now is simply extrude down. If I believe correct, we went up 35, so we're going to remove 35 millimeters. So what you're going to do now is go up to the extrude button, left click on it, remove, and you're going to type in the number 35 and hit enter. And then you're going to hit check. And you can see that we have cut out that one side that I talked about in the video. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to go back to sketch 2 and right click edit, because we can totally cheat. And what I'm going to do is go to my line tool and left click on it. And I'm going to left click in this top corner and then left click. Let's see if you can see this. And all right, so notice I don't see it. Okay, so I'm going to right click escape line. I'm going to click on this square and I'm going to left click right here on this dot. Now I can take a line and left click and connect the dot. I'm now going to trace back to the middle till I see the midpoint, left click, and draw a straight line out to the left and left click. Now what you can do is exactly what I taught you earlier in the other video. Go to the mirror tool and left click on it, left click on this line, and then what I can do is left click, and left click. Alright, and I have the same shape. Oh, I need also to draw the line, so I'm going to left click on the line, and I'm going to connect these two dots. And then I'm going to right click escape, and I'm going to hit check. Now because we told this one to extrude, it also extruded on the other side. Last step, and you're done for this part of the project, is you're going to sketch, you're going to left click, you're going to left click on this face right here, and we're going to go to the use tool and we're going to click on the face. So it gives us all the lines. What we're going to do is take our line and we're going to left click in this corner right here and go out to the right and left click, and we're going to go out. We're going to type in 6.25, enter, and then we're going to go straight down and left click, and then we're going to type in the number 10 and hit enter. Now what we're going to do is right click escape line. I'm going to left click on the circle tool, click right here on the dot and draw it out and type in the number 5 and hit enter. Now the simplest thing to do is take the line tool again and find the midpoint. Here's the midpoint, left click, come straight down, click on the mirror tool, left click on this line, and then again click on this circle. So now I've got two circles there. Now again, something really cool that you can do is I'm going to left click on the mirror tool, I'm going to go back to my line, and then what I'm going to do is find the midpoint right here on this dot. I think I found it, but I want to make sure. So I'm going to left click on the use tool, left click on this line, and then I'm going to go back and left click on the line. There's the midpoint. I'm going to left click and draw straight. I'm going to right click escape line. Now what I'm going to do is left click on the mirror, left click on this line, and then I can start clicking on these circles and see what's happening on the other side. And now what I do is simply go extrude. Alright, now I made a mistake. I'm going to hit the X. I have to go back with the scissor tool and clean this up. So I'm going to right click on this circle and go edit. I'm going to go to the scissor tool and I'm going to get rid of this line and I'm going to click and remove some of these outside lines so I don't actually sketch, or I don't extrude these. So I'm going to clean up the drawing. Now you see only blue circles, so now I can go extrude, and I can say remove and hit check. The last step, so we have a countersink so the screw can sit inside of it and be flush, we're going to left click on sketch, left click on this face, and then I'm going to use the use tool, and I'm going to left click on these circles, and then I'm going to go draw a new circle, and this time I'm going to left click on the center dot, draw it out, type in the number 10, hit enter. I'm going to do that for all the circles, type 10. I'm going to do it for this circle right here, draw it out, type 10. I'm going to do it for this circle, draw it out, type 10, and hit enter. Right click escape circle. I'm going to go to extrude, and this time I'm going to go remove, and what I'm going to do is only depth of 5 and hit enter and hit check. And now you can see we have a countersink for our screws to go into the wall. Now I'm going to show you how to put it all together. So what you're going to do is go to where it says assembly and left click. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove these parts so they're out of here, so you don't have to worry about being confused. Now what I do is I go to where it says insert and I left click. And what I'm going to do now is I have a bunch of parts in here, so please don't be confused. I'm just going to select the sign first, and then I'm going to left click. So you can see, holding the right button down, I see my sign. I'm going to go to that part I just drew and left click, and I'm going to put it right here, and you can see it. I'm going to hit the left click on the green check mark, and now all I have to do to put it together is come right here to where it says, and we'll do the slider mate. Left click on the slider mate, and you're going to zoom in until you see the center right here on my sign and left click. And then on the sign, you're going to have to zoom in, and you're going to have to find right there where it says the center and left click. Now what we have to do is spin it like so, and it looks like we have to, okay, that's all right. I have it upside down, and hit check. Now what you can do is left click and hold on it and slide this in and see it animate like you want to. Now I'm going to come back to right there and look at it, and I can see the holes and everything lines up. So I can also rotate it like this, and it's totally normal and everything is good. So pretty cool. Now I forgot. Oh my goodness. So I forgot to put the 2 holes in here. So what I'm going to do now is go back and click on that drawing of the base plate, and I'm going to fix that. The last step that you need to do is go sketch and left click on this face. And what I'm going to do is give the numbers to you right now on how to fix it. So here we go. All right, give me a second. All right, the numbers, there we go, are here. 6.25. Okay, so what we need to do is come into here, and we're going to draw a line right down here in the left corner and go out to the right, and we're going to type in 6.25 and hit enter, and then we're going to go straight up and we're going to type in 17.5 and hit enter and draw a 5mm circle. And then what we're going to do is type the number 5 and hit enter, and then I'm going to right click escape. I'm going to take a line and find the midpoint right here and draw it up straight, left click, and then I'm going to use the mirror tool, left click on it, and put my circle over there. I'm then going to go extrude, and I'm going to remove through all, and then I'm going to check. Now I've got that, and then what I'm going to do now is sketch on this face again, left click. I'm going to do the use tool and click on the circles, and then I'm going to left click on each circle, draw it out, type 10, hit enter, draw it out, type 10, click and then type 10 and hit enter. And then I'm going to say extrude, remove, sorry, go back to solid, remove, and then I'm going to say 5 and hit enter. And let's see what that does. And then hit check. So there it is. I'm going to do the same process over here. I'm going to go left click sketch, click on this face, click the use tool, click on this circle, and then I'm going to draw out the circles. And then I'm going to left click, type 10. I'm going to left click, draw it out, type 10, and then I'm going to hit extrude, remove, then I'm going to click 5, hit enter, and hit check. Now if we go back to the assembly, you should see the holes are there and it works. This is exactly why you do an assembly. So in the assembly, you saw that everything looked done to me, and I completely forgot the critical step, which is how am I going to bolt and hold the sign together? Well, I totally missed it until I looked in my assembly and it showed me that I had a problem. And all I had to do is go back to my drawing, make a change, and in that assembly, it does the change live. So that really shows you the power of this engineering program. Hope you enjoyed this part of your tutorial. You are now finished.